generation, when you read the title of the message was going to be Family Feud, you immediately thought of a TV game show.
During what months of pregnancy does a woman begin to look pregnant?
September.
A vegetable you marinate.
Grapes.
Name something you might buy that could turn out to be phony. Go.
A horse.
Name a yellow fruit.
Orange.
Name something that follows the word pork.
You pie.
Huh?
You pie. Pork pie.
Name something made of leather. Yes, sir.
A purse.
You're going to be slightly embarrassed when I finish this question. A purse. Name something made of leather that a cowboy uses.
Name an animal whose eggs you'd probably never eat for breakfast.
Hamster.
Hamster.
Name part of the telephone.
The bottom part.
Man of the world, traveled all over the world. Something Russia's famous for, Bob.
Russians.
Name an animal with 3 letters in its name.
Alligator.
Alligator does have at least 3 letters in its name. You know, the more I am around families, the more I realize that Family Feud is not a game and it's not a show, because way too many families find themselves trapped in a feud. See, for me, it all started with a comment when I was little. Actually, I think it started years back, but I didn't know that. See, my grandmother left my grandfather and abandoned my dad and his sister. I don't know how old they were when my grandmother walked out with them. But I do know that my great-grandmother raised my dad and my aunt. I don't know how old they were. I don't know at what point my grandfather got remarried. And I don't know why his new wife didn't take in my dad and his sister. I don't know if she tried to build a relationship with them. All I know is that by the time my sister and I came along, we knew my great-grandmother as grandma. And that was life. One time, when my uncles and aunts were having a family reunion at my grandma's, someone overheard us calling my grandfather's wife by her name, Dora. And they were like, listen, she's married to your grandfather, so she's your grandma. You need to call her that. And my sister and I were little, and we did, one time, because my dad overheard us. And I will never forget the look of anger that came over his face. He turned bright red, and he yelled at my sister and I, and he said, "This woman is not your grandmother, and I better never again hear you call her that." And we didn't. From that point on until today, I still introduce her as Dora. She is my grandfather's wife. As a matter of fact, my dad has step-siblings, and we don't refer to them as aunt and uncle. We refer to all of them by their first names. See, I don't know what happened. I don't know what caused that rift so many years ago. All I know is that we have never gotten along. We never hang out on purpose, unless it's like a third party invited us and we all end up in the same place. But I know it's always awkward when we meet them. I can't tell you who was at fault. All I know is that there have been times when we lived in Nacogdoches, because we all lived there, that we would be at the grocery store and we would run into them and we would say hi, and they would completely ignore us and walk by us. One time I was at Walmart and I walked right by my cousin, didn't say hi to her, didn't acknowledge her, because I didn't recognize her. I didn't recognize her. I didn't know that was my cousin. Just walked right by. My sister who watched it was like, "You didn't say hi?" I'm like, "To who?" She's like, "That's your cousin." I'm like, "Oh, my bad." didn't know it. A couple of months, I saw them at a funeral. I had Sophia with me, and we were fixing to leave, so we went to go say bye to my grandfather. So I took Sophia, and I said, hey girl, say bye to your abuelo, because that's what they call him. And his wife was sitting next to him, and I said, say hi to Dora. And my girl, who's 4, has no clue what has been going on in our family, ran up to her and hugged her. She did not hold back her affection. And in return, Dora hugged her back and chatted with her. She turned around and hugged Laura. And the interaction was awesome. Sophia was happy, they were happy, I wasn't happy. In my mind, all I could think of was, man, that's too little, too late. All of a sudden, out of the blue, you want to be nice to my kid? This is the first time you've met her. Why? The depth of my feelings really surprised me. It shocked me that I could get that angry. Not that I showed it. If any of my other cousins were in that funeral, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what they look like. I don't know how many cousins I have. I don't know their names. I don't know their ages. I don't know what happened. All I know is that I have 3 kids who don't know that they have a great-grandmother or a grandmother. They don't know that they have other aunts and uncles, and they don't know that they have second cousins. I just don't. We have as little to do with them as possible. And you may have someone in your family who is the black sheep, or someone who chose to disconnect themselves. Now, I don't have the thought that 100% of you are experiencing family tension or conflict, but I realize that a lot of people and a lot of families are struggling with this. Maybe you haven't talked to your brother in 15 years. Maybe your sister and your parents don't talk. She doesn't even come to Christmas. Maybe you and one of your parents have unresolved conflict. It's never been resolved, you don't talk about it. Maybe your parents and their siblings have conflict, they have tension. Maybe you haven't talked to one of your own children, or they haven't talked to you. Maybe you're married, but you're really just living together because there was conflict, and you've never been able to talk about it and resolve it. You may not feel like admitting it, I sure didn't, but it hurts. It's painful. Unresolved conflict in church is painful, but it's even more painful in your family. There's an emptiness, there's an ache, there's a pain there. Some of you don't even remember how it started or who started it. You just know you didn't get along. Guys, it's painful and it's sad. It's destructive. It hurts. You don't really talk about it. You try to forget, but you really can never completely forget. It's time to make it right. Say, well, hold on a minute, Tina. You don't know my family conflict. I remember. I know what happened. I know what they said. I know what they did to me. I know it. You don't. You don't know how much they hurt me. There's no way I'm going to make it right. One of our core values as a church is that Bible is our guidebook for living. And my goal every week is to open the Bible and share with you what it says about the issues that we may have in our lives. And today I want us to look at a story of a classic family feud in the Bible, and I want us to consider how it may apply to our lives. This story is found in Genesis chapter 32. Isaac's 2 sons, Jacob and Esau, were locked in a bitter family feud. They were twin brothers who hadn't seen or talked to each other in over 20 years. Their relationship was broken. It was over. They had no contact. See, the feud started with deception. Jacob stole Esau's inheritance by fooling their father. Esau found out and he was mad, and he decided to kill his brother. Rebekah, their mother, found out and told Jacob, and Jacob ran away. He was gone. He was gone. The last time they had seen each other, Esau was going to kill Jacob. Now, this isn't one of those, I'm going to kill you, like when you get mad with your sibling, and you say, I'm going to kill you, but what you really mean is you're going to make them miserable. Like you're going to get revenge. By the way, the words, I'm going to kill you, are never appropriate. Especially in our society, where concealed mass depression and anxiety are at an all-time high. Guys, those words, there's never anything that okays those words. Suggesting that any situation would be better if you were simply dead. It would be better off if you were dead. That's just hate, and it's sin. Listen, for Esau, it wasn't an idle threat, though. Esau meant it. He was going to physically kill Jacob. Jacob was going to stop breathing. Esau had a plan, and he was going to carry it through. This family feud was big, and it was bad, and it was going to last forever. Did Esau have a right to be mad? You bet he did. Did Jacob need to run away? Absolutely. Both brothers thought they were right. And then other people got involved. You know how that goes. People start reminding you what other people said or did. And it makes you angry all over again. You're like, no, you're right. They were wrong. I'm right to be mad. They're jerks. That's why we don't have anything to do with them. When your family's broke, even though you don't talk about it and you can pretend that it doesn't exist, it still hurts. It really hurts. You think about it. You wonder. See, in this case, Jacob and Esau were twins. And this is the story of their reunion and reconciliation. Reading it, you will discover how to end your family feud. And before I start, let me tell you that the same principles apply to any conflict, any unresolved conflict in your life. One of our core values as a church is that we resolve conflict biblically. So if you have unresolved conflict in your family or with someone in the body of Christ, I want you to listen closely and take notes and then apply this lesson. Genesis 32 verse 3 says, Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, this is what you are to say to my master Esau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, men servants and maid servants. Now I'm sending this message to my Lord, that I may find favor in your eyes. See, God instructed Jacob to go back to his native land. And in order to do that, Jacob knew he was going to have to face his brother. It was time to heal the wound. It was time. So he sent messengers ahead of him. That's the first step. Initiate contact. Someone has to go first. Somehow we always think the other person's the one that has to go first. If we were the ones offended, we say, well, he hurt me. If we were the ones that hurt somebody, we say, well, when they're ready to talk about it, they'll let me know. In this case, the guy who was the bigger offender, who stole from his brother and ran, went first. Your family feud will never be resolved unless someone takes the first step. So if we know that, you take it. You may say, but I wasn't the one that was wrong. Take it anyways. Initiate contact. Send a Facebook friend request. Give them a call. Invite them to dinner. Call and ask about their family. Initiate contact. Verse 6 says, when the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Esau, and now he's coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into two groups, and the flocks and herds and camels as well. He thought if Esau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. Guys, it was scary. Jacob thought Esau and his men were coming to kill him and his family. See, first contacts don't always go well. In fact, they can go horribly wrong. That's why I was probably more okay with approaching my family at a funeral, because it's a public event. And if it started to go down, I could grab my kid and get out as quickly as I could. You know, in this case, just like in every case, both sides are nervous. You're nervous. It's tense. When you re-engage, expect tension. If you don't expect it, you're going to overreact when tension is there. You initiated the contact. In your mind, you've crossed the barrier. You are ready. You are ready for that healing to take place. The other person may not be there yet. See, Jacob was ready for reconciliation with his twin. All Esau knew was, hey, here comes Jacob. I wonder what he's going to do to me, or I wonder what he's going to take away from me now. Verse 9, then Jacob prayed, O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I have become two groups. Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. See, Jacob's prayer was essentially, God, help me. God, please, please help me. I am scared to death that Esau's going to come and not just kill me, but kill my whole family. When you're taking steps to resolve a family feud, pray about it. I know it sounds like common sense, like of course you would pray about it. It should be obvious. But ask God for help. Ask God to make your attitude right. Ask God to make the other person's attitude right. Ask God to keep them from hating you. Ask God for it to be peaceful. Ask for God's help. Verse 13 says, he spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Esau, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. Man, that's a lot of animals. He put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, go ahead of me and keep some distance between the herds. He instructed the one in the lead, when my brother Esau meets you and asks, to whom do you belong and where are you going, and who owns all these animals in front of you? Then you are to say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Esau, and he is coming behind us. He instructed the second, the third, and all others who followed the herds. You are to say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, your servant Jacob is coming behind us. Listen, Jacob didn't send messengers ahead of him saying, hey Esau, you need to apologize for you trying to kill me. You need to apologize for what you did to me. Instead, he will say, I'm doing everything I can think of to make this right. I'm doing everything I can think of. Listen, you probably have some things you need to do, but I can't control that. I can't make you do right, but I can do right. I can go above and beyond. I'm going to do whatever I can to make up for what I stole from you. If you want to resolve family feud, whether you caused the offense or whether you were the one offended, do whatever it takes to make it right. You take the step. Make it right. Verse 20 says, and be sure to say, your servant Jacob is coming behind us. For he thought, I will pacify him with these gifts I'm sending on ahead. Later when I see him, perhaps he will receive me. See, Jacob initiated contact. He anticipated tension. He prayed and asked God for help. He did what he could to make it right. And now with all that done, all he could do was hope for the best. You need to do the same thing. Don't be pessimistic. Hope for the best. Be optimistic. Believe that restored relationship is possible. Believe for healing and forgiveness. Hope for the best. Verse 21, so Jacob's kids went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camp. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 maidservants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the men saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled the man. Then the men said, let me go, for it is daybreak. But Jacob replied, I will not let you go unless you bless me. The men asked him, what is your name? Jacob, he answered. Then the men said, your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and man and have overcome. Jacob said, please tell me your name. But he replied, why do you ask my name? Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." Now we look at this part of the story and we think, wow, why now? Why did Jacob have the most amazing God moment in his life this night? See, I think there's a principle here. When you get right with people, the result is God moments in your life. God's blessings follow restored relationships. Most often we think about it the other way. We say, I'm going to get right with God, and then I can get right with people. But instead, when we get right with people, then we can watch what it does with our relationship with God. See, loving God and loving your neighbor are so intertwined that when asked what the single greatest commandment was, Jesus responded with two. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. See, a broken relationship affects your relationship with God. I know this because my broken relationships affect my relationship with God. They affect my prayer time. I can't focus. They affect my reading of the Word because I'm thinking about what's going on, what could happen. It pulls me from God. I'm troubled by the break. It doesn't let me immerse myself in God's presence. See, some of my best times with God have come after I've made things right with people. Because when you start making things right with people, God's presence is going to surprise you. Expect God. When you are doing this, when you're seeking reconciliation, expect God. Listen, we pray, God, change them. But what happens most often is that God changes us. All of a sudden, our perspective shifts and restoration is possible. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Tina, I don't need to change. It's them. But you know what? God was perfecting Jacob. He was doing what needed to be done, what was necessary for his relationship to be restored. Let God do that for you. Let God do that for you as well. And for just a moment, let's go back to the words of Jesus, who teaches the same principle in the New Testament. Matthew 5:23 says, therefore, if you're offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Listen, Jesus said that reconciliation was so important that you should leave church and go take care of it. And then come back. For if you forgive men when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive men their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins. Listen, this is such an important issue. There's so much riding on it. It's time to forgive. It's time to resolve the feud. It's time to let it go. See, when people find restoration in human relationships, the result is almost always result in spiritual growth and inner peace. For some of you, you're just now making that connection. Maybe this is why I haven't been able to feel joy in my life. Maybe this is why I feel like there's something that I just can't get. It's unresolved internal conflict, relational conflict. Make it right, and as you do, expect God. Genesis 33:1, we pick up our story. Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. What a picture. The brother who stole the birthright, bowing down to the ground. Understand that this is not a private moment. Everybody was there, the 2 families, the servants. It was a public viewing, it was a public event where it took place. See, Jacob didn't come and try to rationalize or explain his actions. He didn't bring the story back up. He didn't say, hey, let's talk about everything that happened. He just humbly bowed before his brother. What's the modern day equivalent? Calling and saying, hey, I'm sorry, relationship has been broken. I love you. I miss you. I don't care why it has been broken. I just want it to be right. I'll do whatever it takes. I love you. I know you're thinking, come on, Tina, that's hard. Nobody said it was easy. Restoration and reconciliation are not easy. If it was, everybody would do it. If it was easy, you would have made things right a long time ago. But it wasn't my fault. I didn't ask if it was your fault. Your humility will mean even more if you were the one offended. When you're trying to restore relationship, be humble. Functionally, that may mean that you get to apologize. You say, but listen, I was only 1% wrong and they were 99% wrong. That's all right. Apologize for your 1%. Apologize for your 1%. Own your part of it. See, proud people don't apologize. Proud people blame other people. Humble people say, I'm sorry. Now I want you to look at Esau's response. Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. In that field, in front of hundreds of people, Jacob and Esau hugged each other. They kissed each other on the cheek and they wept. It wasn't just quiet tears. I imagine that it was sobbing after 20 years. Goodness, what a beautiful picture. See, Esau didn't say anything. He didn't have to say anything. He simply forgave Jacob. If you want to resolve your family feud, forgive. You might not have been the one that did wrong. Wrong may have been done to you. Forgive. It's time. Your lack of forgiveness isn't hurting your father. It's hurting you. Your lack of forgiveness isn't hurting your brother. It's hurting you. Your lack of forgiveness isn't hurting your pastor. It's hurting you. Your lack of forgiveness isn't hurting your spouse. It's hurting you. Make the decision. Forgive. Let go. You've been holding on to that hurt, that offense, that story way too long. I don't feel like forgiving. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It's a decision. Forgive. If you wait until you feel like forgiving, you're never going to forgive. It doesn't happen that way. See, that's what I should have done at the funeral. I should have grabbed Sophia by the hand. I should have walked her over. And I should have said, Mommy, this is your abuela. Mommy, this is your aunt. That's what I should have done. I should have hugged them. I should have asked about the family, how they were doing. But I didn't. I walked away. But I want to change that. I'm working on it. Listen, I don't want my kids to carry an offense that doesn't belong to them. I don't want my kids growing up and avoiding part of our family. I don't want my kids years down the road to run into one of their cousins and for them to start talking about their families and figure out they're related. I don't want to stand by a graveside and wish I would have made things right. See, because when that happens, then we struggle to forgive ourselves. And I don't want that to be me. See, that fact challenges me to stay current with my forgiveness, to not wait, and to forgive regardless of the hurt. Don't continue your attempts to punish the person. Forgive. Verse 5 says, Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. Who are these with you? He asked Jacob. He asked. Jacob answered, They are the children God has graciously given your servant. See, that shows how broken their relationship was. They didn't even know each other's children. Verse 6, And the maidservants and the children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down, last of all Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. See, the whole family bowed down, and they were introduced to Uncle Esau. And I'm sure there was a hug fest. They were hugging each other and saying, Oh my gosh, you look so much like your grandfather. Oh my goodness, you have my eyes. How good to see you. How tall are you? Oh, wow. When resolving conflict, include everyone you can in the restoration. Include everyone you can in the forgiveness and in the reunion. See, we have a tendency to draw people into our conflict, but we don't draw people into our resolutions. When you're mad, you tell others because you want someone on your side. You want someone to justify your anger. But then you don't tell them when it's fixed. So people hold on to an offense that you don't even carry anymore. See, you see this in churches all the time. Jenny and I may have a problem, and we turn around and we tell our husbands, and then we tell anybody who will hear us. And then Jenny and I will patch it up and we're good, but we don't tell anybody else. We don't know how far our story has gotten out. We don't know who we told and who they told and who they told. So people are walking around mad at me for something I did to Jenny. And people are walking around mad at Jenny for something she did to me, and me and Jenny are good. You see this all the times in marriages. Husband and wife have a problem. Husband tells his mom. Mom takes up the offense. Husband and wife make up, but mom's not involved in that reconciliation. So she holds on to that grudge. And then you wonder why so many people have trouble with their in-laws. Listen, let me pause the story and help you understand something. There's a difference between gossip and asking for advice. See, gossip looks like this. You go and share the story with everyone you can, especially with the people you think are going to be on your side. And your telling of the story involves everything you did right and everything that the other person did wrong. And you might ask them whether or not they agree that you're right. See, the motive is always justification. Tell me how I was right. Seeking advice, on the other hand, is you going to one trusted mentor or friend who has a long history of healthy relationships and asking them how you might resolve the problem. You tell them not only what you did right, you also tell them what you did wrong. And then you ask them, how do you think I might resolve it? See, when we ask for advice, the goal is always reconciliation. How do I make this right? Here's a great principle for you. Don't involve other people in your offense. Involve everyone in your reconciliation. Verse 8, Esau asks, what do you mean by all these droves I meant? To find favor in your eyes, my lord, he said. But Esau said, I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. No, please, Jacob said, if I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God, now that you have received me favorably. Please accept the present that was brought to you, for God has been gracious to me, and I have all I need. And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. When you're resolving conflict, give gifts, go out to dinner, throw a party, hang out with everyone, celebrate each other, celebrate the restoration. Now listen to me. Guys, I know this is hard. You have no idea how many times I started with this message and I would close it and I would walk away. You're like, God, I can't preach this. I was at step -1 when starting this sermon. It's like, I can't. And I would come back again and read it through and I would break down in tears, close it again and walk away and say, no, I can't. Jason called me last night to check on me. Hey, how's it going? I said, I can't. He goes, why? I said, babe, there's no resolved conflict in my family. Can't do this. It's hard. All the years, all the stories, both sides doing wrong. It's not easy. I know we've all been quiet and I understand it is difficult. It's painful. But you know what? God's will for us is that conflict be resolved. See, why do you say that? Because God's word is clear. God's God's word is clear. Is it easy? No. It's not. Is it necessary? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Unbelievably so. See, for some of you, you're feeling torn right now. You're thinking of that person that hurt you. You're thinking of the brokenness within your own family. Listen, we can't allow that offense to linger in our hearts because it's going to fester. It's going to grow into bitterness. And bitterness is an ugly thing. We can't allow it to dwell in our hearts. Could you bow your heads with me? See, the response to this message is pretty predictable. It's fear. And you wonder, what if they don't accept it? What if I take the first step and it goes wrong? What if they hurt me again? Take that first step. Whatever you do, don't allow bitterness and a grudge to rest in your spirit. See, here's the principle that I've learned. No one else can choose the position of your heart but you. See, when you hold a grudge, when you hold on to an offense, you are choosing the position of your heart. And it's time to let it go. I struggled so much, not only preaching through this message, but on how to end it. See, because the response doesn't happen here in the altars. The response is going to happen when you leave this place. What you do from here, what you do outside this room. And I want to pray for you where you are. If you say pray for me because I have a lot of conflict to go on and I need to make it right, will you just raise your hand for me? I'm raising my hand with you. Thank you. Jesus, we come to you today pretty humbled by this story, by your commands, by your word. Lord, I pray for people in this room, for people watching online, some who have really genuinely been hurt. Words were said, actions were done. Maybe they were betrayed by a friend, someone who could have told the truth and didn't. The hurt's real. God, others have caused the hurt. It was their actions or their words that caused the break. Lord, regardless, our priority right now is not to determine who is at fault. Our priority is to respond to your word in obedience. Lord, I pray that you would make the phone call and start the process. Lord, I pray that you would send the text message or the email that says we need to talk. Lord, as they honor you with that first step, already, right then, that there will be a sense of your help and your involvement. Lord, when we know we're walking in accordance to your will, we can expect you to be with us. So Lord, even though we can't control the position of someone else's heart, we can control the position of our own. And we choose to do that today. God, I pray that as they take the first step, as they have the conversations, as they begin the process of reconciliation, that you would go before them and you would soften hearts. Lord, I pray that their words would be gentle and loving. Lord, would you help us where we don't feel the need to defend ourselves or to prove that we were right or to justify what we did, but where we can humbly say, I love you, I want a relationship, I want to make this right. God, for some people it's with their family, for others it may be a friend, maybe a leader or a pastor. Lord, give us the courage and the character to make it right. Finally, Lord, I pray for people who have lost the chance to make it right because they waited too long. Thank you, Lord, that your forgiveness is complete. Would you help them now to forgive themselves? Forgive us for holding on to a grudge and offense so much that we miss the chance to be part of your plan. Lord, we can't go back and undo that, but we can commit to you to never let it happen again, but to love people in spite of hurts. Help us, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen. Now here's the action step. This week, take step 1. Make the call, send the text, send the Facebook friend request, initiate contact. If you wait, you won't do it. If you wait, you won't do it. Take the first step and expect God is going to help you. And God is going to bless you through it.